So you're feeling the weight of debt? Let me tell you, you are definitely not alone. But what if there were two proven, totally different ways to get to financial freedom? Well, today we're going to break down the debt snowball versus the debt avalanche so you can figure out which path is the right one for you. You know that feeling, right? The one that keeps you staring at the ceiling at 3 a.m., that constant worry about the next payment, the sheer frustration of watching that interest pile up. Yeah, it can feel like you're just running on a hamster wheel with no way off. But here's the thing, and it's some seriously good news. There is a way out. It's not about magic. It's about having a clear, strategic plan. So let's dive into the two most powerful methods to help you break that cycle for good. Now, before we get into the strategies themselves, we've got to talk about the real weight of debt. Because let's be honest, it's not just numbers on a page, is it? It's way, way more than that. It's this constant pressure, this low-level hum of stress that just seeps into everything. It can mess with your mental health, put a strain on your relationships, and just tank your overall quality of life. But you know what? Acknowledging that, really feeling it, that's the first step to taking back control. All right, so let's jump into path number one, the debt snowball. Think of this one as the momentum builder. It's all about getting those quick, psychological wins to keep you fired up. The idea here is actually pretty simple, but it's super powerful. You forget about the interest rates for a minute. Instead, you focus on attacking your debts from the smallest dollar amount to the largest. Why? Because you get to knock out that first debt fast, and that feels amazing. Okay, so how does this actually work? It's a 4-step process, and it's super straightforward. First, you just list out every single debt you have, from the tiniest balance to the biggest. Step 2, you keep making the minimum payments on everything except for that smallest one. On that little guy, you throw every extra penny you can find until it is completely gone. And here's the magic part. Once it's paid off, you take that entire payment amount and roll it onto the next smallest step. That's how your payment snowballs and gets bigger and bigger. And this really gets to the heart of it. The snowball method isn't trying to win a math competition. It's designed to hack your brain. Each time you cross a debt off your list, it's a huge victory. It's proof that you're making progress. And that feeling is what keeps you in the fight. All right, on to our second strategy, the debt avalanche. Now, if the snowball is all about feeding your emotions and motivation, the avalanche is all about pure, cold, hard logic. With the avalanche, you switch your focus entirely. You line up your debts based on their interest rate, starting with the highest and going down to the lowest. The whole point is to attack the most expensive debt first because that's the one that's costing you the most money over time. The steps are going to look pretty familiar, but with that one huge difference. You list your debts by interest rate, highest to lowest. You make minimum payments on everything except that monster high interest one. That's the one you go after with everything you've got. And once it's gone, you guessed it. You roll that entire payment onto the debt with the next highest rate. So, what's the bottom line here? The avalanche is without a doubt the most efficient way to pay off your debt. Period. From the pure numbers standpoint, it guarantees you'll pay the least amount of interest possible and become debt-free in the absolute shortest amount of time. So we've got these two heavy rates in the ring, right? One is all about psychology and getting those quick wins, and the other is all about pure math. Let's put them head to head. This slide breaks it down perfectly. It really comes down to what drives you. Are you the kind of person who needs to see progress to stay motivated? Do you need those quick wins? That's the snowball. Or are you driven by pure logic, knowing you're making the absolute most optimized money-saving choice? That's the avalanche. Okay, let's stop talking theory and look at a real-world example. Let's meet Michael. He's got about $42,000 in debt. Now, if he goes with the snowball, he'll be debt-free in a little over 6 years and will have paid almost 14 grand in interest. But if he chooses the avalanche, he's debt-free in under 6 years and he pays about $12,500 in interest. So check this out. By going with the avalanche, Michael saves $1,400 in interest. I mean, that's not chump change. That's a vacation, a solid boost to your emergency fund, or a nice little investment. And it's not just about the money. He also gets his life back, completely debt-free, 5 months sooner. So you look at just the numbers, and yeah, the avalanche is the clear winner. It's not even a contest. But, and this is a huge but, the best method on paper means absolutely nothing if you don't actually stick with it. Personal finance is more personal than it is finance. If the avalanche feels like a slow, discouraging slog and you give up, then it's the worst method for you, no matter what the math says. Okay, so this brings us to the big question. How do you choose your path? Because it's not about which one is better in a vacuum. It's about which one is better for you, for your brain and your situation. It's time to get real for a second. What truly motivates you? Is it seeing that list of debts get shorter and shorter? Or is it knowing you're saving every possible dollar? There's no wrong answer here. The snowball path might be your jam if you just need to see some progress, like right now. If you're feeling totally overwhelmed and the simple act of crossing a debt off a list sounds like the most satisfying thing in the world, then this is probably your path. It's simple, it's motivating, and it works. On the other hand, you might be an avalanche person if you're a numbers geek. If you love optimizing things and the thought of wasting money on interest drives you crazy, this is your method. It takes discipline, sure, because the wins can be further apart, but the financial payoff is bigger. You know, at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter which path you choose. Both the snowball and the avalanche are designed to get you to the exact same beautiful destination, a life without debt. The best plan is the one you actually start and stick with. So think about it. Which one speaks to you? Because your freedom is just sitting there, waiting for you to take that first step. So, what's it going to be?